McMorrin.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. I'm very pleased to be co-sponsoring this important debate today, and I congratulate the honourable member from Oxford West and Abingdon for securing it. But why are we only holding this hugely important debate now? I, too, as my honourable friend said, would like to see this in government time. Over the last year, we've only seen 2 debates in Westminster on this hugely important issue. One of those led by me and the other by my honourable friend for Bristol North West. And that's not good enough. We'd like to see more of this and more action from the government in this place. My Westminster Hall debate was on the response for the UK government to the UN Climate Change Conference in Katowice, which was well attended by members from the benches here today. But the debate I was baffled by the lack of the oral statement coming from the Secretary of State on what was achieved at COP last year. And this is even more perplexing when this was the first UN climate change conference since the release of the deeply, deeply worrying IPCC report, which, as we all know, was hugely stark. One of the most iconic images from that conference was that of the teenager speaking out on behalf of her generation, imploring more action. It is our children who will bear the brunt of our lack of action. And the climate strike just a couple of weeks ago, I'm really pleased, has spread to more than 14 countries worldwide. And I'm proud to have been supporting that strike in Cardiff just the other week, supporting our young people and having that voice, and being with my 15-year-old daughter there, who I'm proud wanted to have that voice. In the decades since COP15 in Copenhagen, there has been an unwritten agreement between countries and governments that we must pursue climate action, but only so far as it doesn't jeopardise our neoliberal economic model or damage any incumbent interests. Despite its success, the Paris Agreement didn't fundamentally change this situation. Non-ambitious and non-binding enough to get signed, but it did send a signal to the world, which I'm pleased about, that we have to have a very clear trajectory about where we're going towards a zero-carbon economy. And as I speak, the UK is currently on course to miss its carbon reduction targets and the legally binding 15% renewable target by 2020. They have sold off the Green Investment Bank, scrapped the Department for Energy and Climate Change, and they must take much more action to meet those targets. And, Madam Deputy Speaker, if we crash out of the EU with no deal, which I am very pleased to see that the Secretary of State has done what she can to try and prevent that, then we will be even worse in terms of our environmental record, with just a race to the bottom. The loss of EU environmental legislation covers roughly half of the UK emissions reductions targets. So we need to get working on this, but we need to get working now, and we need to see action across every single department. Every single government minister should be responsible for achieving those carbon emissions cuts. They should be taking action on climate change. And as I said in my Westminster Hall debate, we need to think more like the Welsh Government, leading the way on climate change, leading the way on future generations. Thank you.
Davey.
Speaker, I refer the House to my